When life gets real, the mic stays warm. Hosted by the dad with lots of charm. Insights are sharp and data's tight. The lens already and the jokes are light. Hot takes, real talk, keeping it true. From high school halls to podcast cues, live a little, learn a lot. Turn it up, this show is hot. Grab your coffee, let's get into it. No filter, no fluff, just real talk. Let's do it. Ready or not, here we go. It's a time for Murphman to start the show.
Welcome to Hot Takes with the Murphman. I am the Murphman here with my co-host Connor. How you doing, Connor?
Doing good today, Murphman. How are we doing today?
It's been an interesting week.
Interesting. Why do you say that?
Well, we start school next week at college,
Yes, we do.
and I had to do a lot of prep work for that. And I'm going to be starting to use this new platform called Lumen. I got to learn how to use that. Like the week before, I decided to just do everything.
Yeah, the day before, actually.
Yeah. And how about you? You ready for school next week?
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, I don't have a bad schedule like I did last year.
No, you don't.
I really don't.
The advantage of your schedule is it's all during like from 11 to 3, give or
Like
take.
lunch to
Yeah.
end of school. Yeah.
So you could literally miss the traffic coming home, right?
About
yeah.
when middle school gets out, because
But the major traffic,
yeah,
people getting off work and
yeah.
everything. And then you can actually stay there later if you want to go to the library and study and do everything, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I think you have a pretty good schedule. Let's see how that goes today, right?
Yes.
I got to tell you what, speaking of college, one thing that I was doing this past week was looking for a loan. Connor gets financial aid to get school. He gets scholarships and all that. But I wanted a little extra money for him to pay me rent,
Yeah.
to pay for the gas because we got him his car up and running. We got it fixed. So he's gonna be able to drive his car to school. He's been driving my car, but now he has his own car, which is pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a stick, so I got to learn how to drive stick, but it'll be interesting.
I think you'll do fine, because when you first started trying to learn it, you had trouble because of the what's it called? Learning how to drive on top of learning how to drive stick.
Yeah.
So but now that you know how to drive, we're gonna teach you how to drive stick. And you're gonna have a little sports car. So that's pretty cool. It's an old sports car. How old is it, Connor? In January,
24,
in
almost
January,
gonna be 25.
It can be considered a
Classic car.
So I was telling my brother about it, and he thought it was funny as hell. Like, it's a classic. I'm like, yeah, it's a classic. You can get an antique plate on it. That's funny. You know how they tell you don't buy your kid a brand new car? You get him a
that's
clunker.
like plus 20. Yeah.
So like if you wrecks it, like, okay, I lost $3,
Yeah.
Although we put in a hell of a lot of money to fix that car. It sucks. But it's a really good car. It runs great. And you're going to love it. Trust me on that one. But anyway, so we were looking at getting a school loan for his living expenses to pay for the gas and maintenance of the car, and a few other expenses like a meal plan at school, books, other things that may not be covered. Like, what else was there? The rent and groceries and utilities at the house, basically.
Yeah.
So you don't have to get a job. And I applied for the loan, and I applied for the amount with tuition included. We don't need that. I'll just return that money. But I wanted to know what it would cost because I was curious. This is my first time applying for a college loan. I had the VA, right?
Yeah.
So I had the GI Bill. I didn't have to pay for tuition assistance with the military, right? I got my master's degree debt-free. So I never had to take a college loan out. And I said, I'm curious. Everyone always says college loans are so expensive, right? I'm paying on college loans forever and nothing's gone down. Well, for the $13,000 loan I was looking at, our payments would have been at a 17% interest. Okay. After you graduate from college, it's deferred for 6 months. But in that whole time, 3 or 4 years from now, it is accruing interest, and our payments would be $500 a month for 15 years to pay back a total of $53,000. All right, $53,000 for a $13,000 loan. Interest is crazy, right?
Yeah.
Now you can pay along the way. You can make payments every month, and it lowers your rate. So once it kicks in, that's what you actually charge interest on because you've been paying the interest all along. And there's ways around it. But
damn.
Yeah, to pay the interest on the loan, we have to pay $200 a month. So that's why when you have a house and you have a loan on it, you don't want to refinance it for between 7 to 10 years because you haven't paid any of the debt down. It's all interest up front. So like if I have $1,000 payment, $900 goes to interest and $100 goes to the house. Maybe even only $40 goes to the house. Is that ridiculous or what, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with cars. People are buying cars that are more expensive than, well, not more expensive, but almost a house payment, right? The car I want to buy, and this is my not my dream car, but I wanted a Toyota Camry, right? The hybrid. And I've changed a little bit. I researched a little bit. A new battery for a Toyota hybrid is about $10,000 in about 10 years. So I looked at the Lexus ES hybrid, and that battery is only $4,000 to $5,000. Now, is maintenance more expensive and everything? Yeah, but actually, it turns out that the Lexus might actually last longer than Toyota Camry. So I'm looking at that right now, and then I'll give you my car now, and then we can decide what you want to do with the sub.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, so
that'd be like my project car, if anything.
Yeah, like you and your friend, you get together and you fix his car, he can come and fix yours.
Yeah.
Although everything's been fixed on it, it's mostly cosmetic.
Yeah, it's just like the maybe a new radio. Maybe
the radio's good. You need speakers.
Oh yeah, I need speakers. Sorry, I forgot. I need speakers.
You don't hear this? Like as we're talking, you don't hear all this?
No, my headphones are down. That's why I tried turning it up.
Well, your headphones are down.
Well, leave it. Just leave it.
No, your headphones are up there. We turned down.
Then.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm
all
saying.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I need a new. I don't even know what it's called on top of the radio where the time would be.
Oh, it's the display.
The display.
Not the whole dash display, but just a certain display on this vehicle.
Yeah, it's just small stuff like that, but I just want to get it fixed. Also, that's it.
Yeah, it's mostly cosmetic stuff. So
yeah,
it's funny because as we're getting to do this, going through life, learning about the parent side of it, college side of it, student side of it, there's so many different things going on that I think it's pretty interesting to talk about it because people don't talk about this. They say get a school loan and that's what you got to pay. You know what happens if you don't pay your loan? They garnish your wages. So they actually contact your employer and say he owes us this money. We'll take your money away from you.
Oh wow!
Now the other thing that would be cool is you get a job with the government and they forgive your student loans. Sometimes when you do like healthcare and certain stuff that helps people like social work, and sometimes they will forgive your student. The government will pay them for you.
Mm.
Okay. You're doing computer science. I don't know that that's even a possibility, right? But I think we can't count on that. But I just wanted to see what the whole deal was with school loans because I've never done it. And I looked at it, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So imagine 4 years of college at that. You're looking at a $2,000 payment when you get out of college, if that's how it works. Because maybe they'll lower your interest rate for higher amounts. I don't know. It's crazy. It's just redonkulous. Anyway, welcome to Hot Takes with the Murphman. That is my hot take for today.
Yes, student loans or BS. Yeah.
Yeah, but they get you to college.
Yeah, but God, dude,
See, luckily your tuition's paid. Like you have the Hazelwood Act and, any financial aid scholarship. That stuff is taken care of. And the scholarships are not that much. But I was curious. Let me just see what he can get, because like if you wanted to live on your own, I was curious.
Yeah.
Like how much would it cost? And that was only with a $400 payment. Imagine if we went for the full $700 rent and then your own groceries, your own utilities, your own everything. Damn.
Yeesh.
Oh, insurance for the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's goddamn. The school loans are such a BS thing. That's a scam. I've always heard of that being a scam, and it's like crazy. Anyway, welcome to today's show. Today we're going to be talking about corporate culture, reading the room, understanding the situation that we're in when we go to work or something. But I do want to let you guys know that we're going to go ahead and ignite today's fuse on the show.
Welcome to Hot Takes with the Murphman. Today we are talking about reading the room, a beginner's guide to corporate culture. This episode helps you decode company culture so you can adapt, contribute, and thrive without losing your...
All right. So, all right. A beginner's guide to corporate culture. The episode helps you decode company culture and thrive without losing your authenticity. Connor, you asked me about that. What does authenticity mean when you're talking about this? What do you think it means? I'm just curious.
Authenticity, being real.
Being real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. When you go into a place of work, and I've talked about this the last couple of months, business etiquette, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But when you go into a new place of work, you're not really aware of what the culture at the work is, right?
Yeah.
So you go in there a little cautious, and you're not yourself when you start a new job. You're not. And sometimes the side of you that is real doesn't ever come out, you know? With me, I don't try to put up a fake front. I'm very confident in who I am. And when a new employee comes in, I don't say, okay, this is how it's supposed to be done, but this is how we're going to do. No. It's like, this is how it's done, period. You know, if they find a shortcut their own way, they find their shortcut their own way. But I'm talking about, like, when I started a new job, I'm funny. I like to make jokes. And being a counselor, people didn't take me seriously. They're like, how can this guy be a counselor? Like, he's counseling kids, families, adults. How? Right?
Yeah.
And I didn't care. I knew I was a good counselor. I am a good counselor. And I know I've helped people. And I remember one day I had to do something and I had to take over a situation, and my coworker who was with me was just sitting back, and she says, I'm so impressed with how you do everything, you know? And I said, being funny and joking and inappropriate maybe has no bearing on who I am as an employee. Okay.
True.
But it does affect us because it's your perception. If you have a boss who perceives you as unprofessional and they're counseling you and say you need to be more professional, you got to really think about that. Now, I will tell you, the moment that it became very clear to me that I should dress a little better at work, because I always dress in jeans and polo shirts. I went to a district event, and they had the kids from the alternative school come up on stage, and I was working with them. So they introduced me, right, at this event. And their outfit, their school uniform was black pants and a white polo shirt. Guess what I was wearing? Black pants and a white polo shirt. Just coincidental. So my picture came out in the newsletter, the newspaper, I don't know which. And my friend's like, dude, you look like one of the students. And I was like, yeah, maybe I need to dress a little better. What do you think? And he's like, yeah, I think you do too. So I started changing the way I dress a little bit. Not too much, but I bought button-up shirts. I bought, better stuff than just polo shirts. I wear polo shirts because it's just easy. It's just easy. I just wash them, throw them in the dryer, I'm done,
Well, isn't that what you do with every laundry?
You have to iron. Polo shirts are like wrinkle-free. So you just hang them up.
Wrinkle-free, but yeah.
Well, they're not, nothing's 100% wrinkle-free, but, you can hang it up and it stays good.
True.
But so when you're being authentic, that is basically what I want to teach you guys about today. How to be authentic, but you have to read the room. So let's talk about that, and let's get to today's burning question.
Today's burning question is, what is the difference between cultural fit and a cultural multiplier? A, they are the same thing. B, cultural fit means you align with the culture. Cultural multiplier means you enhance it. C, cultural fit is a good thing. Cultural add is a bad thing. D, cultural fit is about your personality. Cultural add is about your skills. The heat is rising, Connor. Fan those flames.
All right, so cultural fit. All right. Do you think they're the same thing as multiplier? It means you align with the culture, and the cultural multiplier means you enhance it. Do you think cultural fit's a good thing and it's supposed to be cultural multiplier is a bad thing? Or is cultural fit about your personality and cultural multiplier is about your skills?
I think it's going to be B, where it says cultural fit means you align with the culture, and then culture multiplier is you enhance it.
Right. A culture multiplier is someone who enhances the team's culture by bringing in fresh perspectives, unique value to the team, and previously missing, rather than just fitting in, mirroring the existing views. All right. While companies look for a cultural fit, the modern approach to look for is cultural multiplier. Now, let's talk about that. I know you guys don't believe me. You look at me. I'm Mexican, American, okay, or American Mexican, I guess. But you don't see that in me, right? And when I went for my job interview, like my boss, she hired me. She never spoke Spanish because I did an interview at another part of the company. So she never even tested my Spanish, and she threw me into the Segundo Barrio here in El Paso, which is like the Latino part of town. And she basically thought, because the way I joked about, I don't want to work with kids, right? that within 2 or 3 months I'd quit. And she's like, so I just put you in a place where I said, oh, he can sink or swim. She didn't really care at the beginning. And what was funny was, as she saw me working with kids, we would be in the conference room and kids would walk out past her office to the lobby. And she'd see kids sitting in the lobby with attitudes and anger and whatever, right? Whatever perceptions and stereotypes you could think of as you see these kids. They'd go see me. They came out laughing, joking, and I was still being a jerk with them. Like, dude, like, you better straighten out or I'm going to come in, whatever.
Mm.
And she's like, I don't understand why the kids like you. She says, you're mean to them. You're rude to them. And I said, well, that's just me joking with them on the way out. She says, but you meet somebody and you're joking with them like that in session? Sometimes, And like I had a kid who stayed at the runaway shelter one day. And when she went home, she told me, hey, they stole my pair of pants. So one of the caseworkers and I got together and we got all the kids, sat them down, and I took the lead on it, right? And I said, all right, we know something has been stolen. Now notice I said something has been stolen. I didn't say who it belonged to. I didn't say what it was. I said, I know something has been stolen. I'm going to give you guys one chance to get what you stole and bring it back here. And, all 6 or 7 kids leave. And they all come back with a bunch of stuff, right? And the caseworker who runs the shelter is sitting there looking at this. And I looked for the pair of pants, and, the pair of pants weren't there, obviously, right? Because they all had little stuff. And I said, all right. I said, none of this is what I'm looking for. I said, try again. And they got up, and my coworker's like, damn, where are they keeping all this stuff? I said, obviously, you guys you need to do a better job taking care of the shelter. Kids come back with a bunch of stuff and the pants. And I told Anthony, call the police, dude. Call the police. They're not turning it in. I had a feeling because of who I am. Kids hide stuff. I could sense it, right?
Yeah.
And one kid says, hold on. Comes back with a phone and a ring. They stole my boss's ring. They broke into her office and stole her ring. We didn't even know that. They had a phone, a landline that they would plug into the room, and they would call people. One girl was calling her boyfriend in Japan. The bill hadn't arrived yet. So I told them, I said, all right, get out. You know, like rude, like get out. And Anthony and I would stand there, we're just like, God damn. Her ring, like we were just like, it exposed so much poor supervision. People lost their jobs. Okay. But when I told my boss about it, she goes, how did you do this? And I said, the tough guy came in and said, I'm giving you one chance. And then I just, because who I am, I'm like, that's not everything. And I saw their reaction, and I'm like, go, get it, come back. I saw one kid, and I'm like, okay, something's missing. You know, when we found everything, my boss was like, how do I address this? I said, address the staff, because the staff wasn't supervising them. And we need to like not leave stuff laying out, whatever, right? Change our whole habit. But she was just like, how did you get these kids to admit all this? It's because I was tough with them. The next day, the kids were like, hey, mister, thanks for not calling the police, or thank you for not arresting us, or whatever. I said, that's still in the works. It's not 100%, but it's not my decision to make. And she's like, these kids are coming to you saying thank you, and you're like, instead of saying you're welcome, you say, no, you're still in trouble. She says, why? She didn't understand. And I said, because the kids know I'm being real with them.
True. Yeah.
And kids know when you're trying to fake that you care. Kids know when you fake that you're trying to do certain things, right? And it's funny because being authentic got me to do so many different things, which is really awesome, right? I like that. I like the fact that people realize, okay, even though I'm tough and I'm mean and I'm this crazy joker kind of person, I'm not bipolar. This is all a part of me. I'm a great counselor. I joke around. I'm serious. I did whatever the situation applied that matters. Now, when we had like real serious situations, I took care of them. It wasn't a big deal because I was able to be professional and do the job that was required of me. So as we're doing all this, when you think about being authentic, realize being authentic is being real to yourself within the culture of the business. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's go ahead and get to my second hot take of the day in today's hot take.
Today's hot take is this: the only way to truly thrive is to be a cultural add, not a cultural fit. Trying to blindly fit in by suppressing your authentic self leads to burnout and obscurity. The best employees bring a perspective the team is missing, not just a mirror of the existing perspective. That's the core. Now, let's stack the fuel.
Let's talk about that. Thank you.
Okay.
A cultural add. Are you adding to what they have, or are you fitting in and conforming? Am I saying go in and buck it and buck the norm? Bucking is pushing it out of the way. I'm not using the B word instead of something else. Okay.
Okay.
Buck it, like kick it out of the way and do it your own way. No, I'm saying go in there and fit in and find your spot and enhance it and do better. Okay. When you do all that, you have better rapport with your coworkers. Okay. You're not trying to just be funny. You're not trying to be serious. You're not trying to be something you're not. But you have to know how it all starts. And day one, you can't go in there to a job interview and be like, yo, what's up? How you doing? It doesn't work that way, right? When you go into a job interview, being cocky sometimes, I've talked about this, being cocky sometimes can be against you. when you have a boss who's cocky and someone comes in cocky, it's automatic challenge. And you got to figure out a way around that. And good managers let the cockiness flow. They don't take it as a personal threat. They're like, I hired him because he's a badass. Okay. You can't hire a badass and then say, whoa, chill out, slow down. Like that one girl did at the YWCA with me, right?
Yeah.
She hired me because I was a great fit for the job, and then she regretted it because I didn't put up with anything. I mean, I quit within a week and a half.
Damn.
And I'm not a quitter, man, but I knew that wasn't the culture I wanted to be in, you know. But yeah, so are you a fit, or are you fitting in, I should say, or are you adding to the culture? That's what I want to ask yourselves while we go to break, you guys. We'll be right back from break.
It's time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murphman will return after these messages.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
According to the VA's suicide data report, an average of 22 veterans die by suicide every single day. This figure is a sobering reality and a crisis that demands our immediate attention and compassion. We must recognize and address the fact that every 24 hours, 22 veterans are losing their lives to suicide. The war doesn't always end when our veterans come home. The invisible wounds they carry, wounds that are real and heavy, require continuous support. No veteran should have to carry this burden alone. Many veterans experience stress and disconnection as they navigate life after service. But there is hope, there is help, and you are not alone in this fight. There's a vibrant community ready to support you, offering friendship, understanding, and shared experiences. You served your country, now let us serve you. Don't fight the toughest battle in silence. Your mission now is to reach out. Dial 988, then press 1. Text them at 838255. The Veterans Crisis Line is available 24/7. Every day, we save lives. Your life is invaluable, and your service is honored. Let's work together to make 22-0 again. No veteran should face their struggles alone. Together, we can ensure every veteran finds the support and hope they deserve.
He gets help, but he still feels off. Sees an ad on the TV about a dog batting said, this is a man's best friend. Whoa, so he goes one day and he picks it up. Never thought a dog could bring so much love and put a smile on his face. But he's finally found a saving grace. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free. Put his mind at ease. We will help, 'cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22-0 again.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Before we get back to the show, we pause for something that matters to the Murphman deeply. He was inspired by Ryan Spencer's song, Make 22-0 Again. I'd like to remind you that help is always available, 24/7, 365. If you ever feel you need support or are in crisis, call 988 and press 1, or text 838-255. There will always be someone ready to listen. Remember, you are not alone.
All right, guys, just like he said, suicide prevention is a big deal for me. If you're feeling like you want to do harm to yourself, please call 988 and press 1. You don't have to be a veteran. It's the Veterans Hotline. It's the Crisis Helpline. It's everything hotline. Someone's there 24/7, 365 to call you or talk to you, I should say. So call and get some help. Okay. And by the way, that song was Ryan Spencer's Make 22 again. If you don't know what that is, it's a very interesting song. You should hear it, right?
I like it.
Yeah. You know, it's one of those songs that when I first started playing, I remember the first time I heard it, I was like, what? You know, there's another song I'll play at the end of the show today called Adios Amigo by Dallas Alexander. That's another one of my favorites, The World's Longest Sniper Shot. Adios Amigo. It has all the double meaning. Good. So glad I see you. Anyway, let's get to today's definitions that we need to learn in the segment called today, Laying Down the Coals.
Decoding corporate norms. Now, value. Define the ask. Before we dig in, let's clarify some of the key terms we'll be using today while laying down the coals. Corporate culture. The shared values, behaviors, and norms that shape how people work together in an organization. Cultural fit versus cultural add. Fit means you align with the culture. Add means you bring something new that enhances it. Situational awareness. The ability to observe and interpret what's happening around you. Now that the coals are laid, the foundation is solid. Now, let's see it in action.
So let's talk about corporate culture, Connor. The shared values, behaviors, and norms that shape how people work together in an organization. Now, I've been doing a lot of business stuff lately, right? And one of the things I noticed is there's a guy who gives tips, and he says, sorry, I stepped on the dog. No, okay, we don't have a dog. Chick-fil-A has this culture of saying thank you for everything, right?
Yeah.
And when you're training someone, if I'm training you, Connor, and someone asks me a question, I answer them, but I don't say thank you or whatever the reply is supposed to be, right? What are you going to do as an employee? You're going to say, oh, we don't have to say it. You watch this guy over here say, oh, sure enough, anything, whatever. You see this person respond differently, and you're like, okay, we don't have to say thank you. Has that person bought into the culture of the business?
No.
No. Was he taught the culture of the business?
No.
No. When you go to places like that and you have a culture of how things are done, like Coyote Ugly, they dance on the bar. Okay, it's a bar. You have to be willing to do that if you're going to work there. Okay. If you go to Twin Peaks, you got to dress a certain way. Hooters, you got to dress a certain way, right? But when you go to places like IBM or Raytheon or the government or whatever, different cultures, everywhere has different cultures, how they we dress, how we talk, how we act. And, you know, it's customer service, but it's nice when everyone is on board with it. Because what ends up happening is everyone does it, so it becomes the norm. And that's the cultural norm. Now, there's a movie called Waiting. Do you remember that movie with Ryan Reynolds? With the game?
Oh, yeah, the
game.
Host game, yeah.
The game, yes.
Well, I was talking about hosting, like the waitress.
What?
The waiter one? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
that's what I was going to say.
All right. Anyway, in that movie, he's going around teaching a new guy how to do the job, and he gives him all the ins and outs of everything, right? And he is very inappropriate, let's just put it that way. But there's this waitress, and do me a favor, look her up. This is some actress I want to talk about, the waiting actress. What's her name? It's the girl with the dark hair there to the right. What's her name? Alana Ubach. Or Alana Ubach. She plays this really rough waitress, and she's in the back and she's cursing up a storm, and as she walks around the corner, you get this really pleasant waitress talking to the customers all nice, and she runs to the back and starts cursing up a storm again. You know?
Mhm.
Does she fit into the culture? Yeah, you got to be professional at work, but around the coworkers, they're very different, right?
Yeah.
Now, Alana Obach, you changed it on me,
Oh, sorry.
is the mother on Ted. But she is also an accomplished singer. Like Coco. Look up Alana sings. Look up her video real quick.
Okay.
I'm just curious so you can see how good she sounds. Anyway, she plays this character and she has this way to switch, and she's a great actress. I love her to death. But I just want you to hear it real quick. You can just play it and go to the middle and just hear it.
Wow.
Yeah, look, that's her. See?
That's funny. I didn't know that. Wow.
So Alana Ubach is someone I've actually started researching because I've seen more videos of her. Say, TikTok, you see one video, you see more videos and everything, right?
Yeah.
In waiting, there's a culture at work. They're all professional with the customers, but behind the scenes, very inappropriate. And I love that as an example. And speaking of TikTok, I gotta give a shout out to MBR Talk Roku that we're live on right now. Our buddy out there, H-Train, is doing the show for us, which we appreciate you sharing it for us, Joel. I got to tell you, I didn't have the screen refresh when it first started, and it didn't show you live. So I was like, oh, I wonder where H is. And Connor's like, just refresh your screen. So I haven't had a chance to tell you thank you and give you a quick shout out. If you're watching us on Pure Hot Takes, you can catch us on YouTube, YouTube and TikTok. And you can also find us at MBR Talk Roku on TikTok, MBR Talk, and other places. But you can also go to Roku, look up MBR, find the Military Broadcasting Radio icon, black and white, and go to and check us out on Saturday. You can catch us there live as well. So, I think those of you who've come in and talked to us and shared everything with us, so, give you a quick shout out and give a quick shout out to Broadcast Beaker. If you don't know what Broadcast Beaker is, A-Train has a thing about ducks. He has his character he uses called Beaker, and he has ducks, and ducks can weather any storm. They can make it through anything. So they're very resilient, very strong, and that's why he uses a symbol of ducks. And what I think is interesting about that is he has this character. We've done animations, and you can catch those animations on all the Military Broadcast Radio channels, and some of them here on Pure Hot Takes. And we're working on animations right now. So it's really cool that we're doing there and partnering there with Military Broadcast Radio. So I want to give them a quick shout out. If you look at our bumpers, we have the little the MBR situations. Give me a sec. And then Cassie also just joined us. Cassie, thanks for joining us. I appreciate that. So going back to getting back to the show, we were talking about the different corporate cultures. We also have the term cultural fit versus adding. Do you align with the culture or do you bring something new? Okay, that's also very important. And situational awareness, that's probably the most important thing. The ability to observe and interpret what's happening around you, right? Because if you don't know what's happening around you and you're oblivious to it, how are you going to know what's going on at work? You can't. So I'll tell you what, let's talk about, give you a quick story, because like I tell people, I can share all my stories, but let me give you an example in our segment called Story from the Fire.
Tuning in, not blending in. In today's Story from the Fire, Avery joined a startup where everyone wore hoodies and called the CEO by her first name. At first, he held back, but after observing how others communicated and contributed, he found his voice and fit in without losing his edge. He learned that reading the room isn't about blending in, but about tuning in. That was a story from the fire. Theory turned to reality. Now, here's your map to the gold.
All right. So in this startup, everyone wore hoodies and called the CEO by their first name. That takes a little getting used to, right? I have a thing, me personally, if someone introduces me to you, whatever name you give me, that's what I'm going to use, you know? And I'll give you an example. When I was doing comedy one night at this bar, this guy comes in and goes, hey, my name is Silent. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, right?
Silent.
Then later on, I was doing business and someone calls me called Thaddeus. I think that was his name. I might be wrong. If I am silent, don't kill me. But I was like, it was something different like that. And I'm like, where's that? You're Hispanic. Where do you get the name? Like, I forgot what it was. It was something, but it sounded like a very white name. When you're doing comedy, you meet all kinds of people and you can say anything. Like, you went to a comedy show, you liked it, right?
I did like it.
You see all kinds of people there. But when you talk about like people going by their first name or anything, if you introduce me as a certain way, that's what I'm going to call you. So if you introduce me as Sandy, that's what I'm going to call you. If people call you Sandra, I want to keep calling you Sandy. Someone's name, like Margaret, I call her Maggie. I don't know where that came from. It just happened. There was a girl we used to have in our club. We'd called her Lilo because she looked like Lilo. And she's like, why do you call me Lilo? You're the only one that calls me Lilo. I'm like, what do you mean I'm the only one that calls you Lilo? Like, what? She says, no one else calls me Lilo. No one else calls me Maggie. I'm like, then am I just making up these names, right? So I take it real serious when someone introduces themselves at work. I try to remember their name. Okay. Now it's funny, like my boss Patsy, she introduces herself first as I'm Patricia Rivas, like, oh, okay. Now she's Patsy, She never said, okay, you can call me Patsy. It's like I was calling her Patricia, right?
Yeah.
And everyone else called her Patsy. And so I just said, okay, one day I'm going to call you Patsy. And it was okay. I'm like, okay, But you have to observe how others communicate, how they contribute, and you got to find your voice and fit in without losing your edge. Okay, reading the room is the most important skill anyone can have. And I talked about comedy, like the comedian we went to go see, he made a comeback after so many years. And a lot of his act was the same from before because it was funny. And, it's been 30 years, no one knows it. But for someone who's been there before, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just interesting because when you meet people like that, right? He's a great guy. And I call him by his stage name. People call me Murph or Murphman. No one calls me by my first name. Right?
Yeah, I don't hear Sean or Adrian or anything.
The only one that calls me Sean is you.
Yeah.
And then the girls that they call me Daddy, but that's a different story altogether, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, you like that one, didn't you?
Totally.
Anyone can be a father, but it takes someone special to be called Daddy. That takes on a very different meaning when you're an adult.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Oh my God. So yeah, it's one of those things when you think about it, right? You got to read the room. You got to understand what's going on. Be situationally aware of everything going on around you, because there's things that you do and you don't even realize it, like parking at the parking lot. Where do the employees park? You're supposed to park as far away from possible, whatever, right? As a teacher at the college, I have parking. But sometimes I'd go into the parking lot and it would be empty. Sometimes I'd go in and it would be full. So I had to plan accordingly for that. We talked about you and your parking for school.
Yeah.
Right. I said, well, just park there and ride your scooter in. There's a lot of people on the sidewalk and stuff. They block the road. So go on the other side. I thought about this last night. Go on the other side.
Yeah.
I don't know, that would be illegal because you're on a scooter. Right? Going against traffic. But
I think
everyone's going to the college. If you drive on the other side, you're away from everybody. Something I thought of.
But if I'm going here, I got to worry about people coming up the hill.
Well, yeah, but the traffic is not bad because most people are going in, not out. So anyway, but yeah, read the room, understand the culture. is probably the most important thing you can do in any situation. Okay. I remember one time in high school, I was at a party and someone said something about Jefferson High School. And I said, Jefferson sucks. My friend was going to high school at Jefferson. The entire party was Jefferson. Oops. Right?
Yeesh.
Oops. Yeah, that was a little crazy because I was like, okay, hold on, what's going on here? And I literally said Jefferson sucks. From that day forward, I've learned don't badmouth other schools because you never know who's there, right? Now everyone talks about there's a school here in town. Jeff and Bowie are the two rivals. There's a lot of rivals in town, but Jeff and Bowie are one of the oldest schools, and they have this rivalry and everything. But what's funny is there's a joke that I met a girl one time, right? She said, I'll let you go out with me if you can figure out what school I go to. And I said, okay, can you give me the first letter in your school name? Now let's see what you come up with for this, right?
Mm-hmm.
She says L.
Loretto.
Loretto? No, not Loretto. Loretto's an all-girl school. If she was a guy, I wouldn't have said Loretto. I said Lydia Patterson Institute. That's another one, right? She's like, no. She says, you have one more guess. And I said, I really don't know. She goes, La Jeff.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
See? That's a real thing. People call it La Jeff.
Right.
La Bowie.
Yeah. I was thinking, I'm like, can she be talking about La Jeff? I'm like, probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
Right.
And yeah.
I was literally talking about Jefferson High School. I thought she would catch the clue and go.
Well, I caught it at first. I was like, what? No, come on. There's got to be something else.
Loretto, it was funny. I heard that joke and I just think it's still funny to this day. If you know El Paso, La Jeff, just the way people talk about certain things around your town. One time we were in DC, and one thing I like to do is I like to drive. And we're just driving, like literally, like he was, what were you? 13, let's see, 2019, you would have been 13, right? Yeah. And I was like, okay, Connor, let's get lost.
We were 12 going to 13.
Okay, yeah. I said, let's get lost. And you're like, what do you mean? I said, just pick left, right, pick this exit, go here, go there. And you get to pick 5 and 5 or whatever. And let's see where we get. Because we can always have GPS to get back home. And it wasn't like we were going to get lost.
Yeah.
And we ended up in this one part of town. And we were looking around and it was all Mexican, all Spanish. And you looked at me and you go, when did we go back to El Paso? And it was a different community in a different state, different part of the country. It looked exactly like El Paso, right? It was crazy. They even had tamales for sale.
Yeah.
It was like, now, had I been driving through that, and I had gone to one of the stores, would I have spoke English or Spanish? Think about that for a second. Why Spanish? Because everything around me was Spanish.
Yeah.
If I walked in and I saw a blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl, how would I speak to her?
Hey.
In Spanish.
A blonde hair, blue eyes?
Looks does not mean you're not Mexican.
Yeah.
Okay. The point being is, where was I? I was reading the room, which is the community. It's a Hispanic community. Obviously, she's got to speak Spanish.
Unless if she's just like you and just happen to be in there.
She's working.
Oh.
I said, someone's working, and I walk in.
Oh.
But when I spoke Spanish to her, she looked at me like, yes, sir, can I help you? Like, I spoke Spanish to you. I don't know. Like, I have people that'll talk to me and I hear their accent, and it's I don't want to be insulting and say, can you just speak in Spanish? Like you did to your mom. Right? Do you remember this? I've told you the story. I know you were too young to remember, but Connor was learning how to spell. And he had words like tub, T-U-B, right?
Yeah.
And then you add an E, makes the vowel a long sound. It becomes tube, right? I can't think of other examples, but let's just stick with that one. So his mom, whose first language was Spanish, and she learned a lot of English on her own. She really did. But she tells him, Tube. 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 And Connor is like trying to understand. He's like, it's the same word, Mom. You're not really changing anything. Because tub and tube are two different words. And she's saying the same
Tube
thing.
and tube.
But tube and tube, she's saying longer ooh sound, right? The O sound, because there's two O's in the pronunciation of it. Tub, tube. That's how she read it. And Connor's like trying, and I'm sitting there, and I'm letting her do her parenting thing. And Connor just turns to me and he goes, Dad, can you help me? And she was like, what's wrong with me? And I tried. I'm like, tube, tub, not tub, not tube, and tube. And she's like, I don't understand the difference. And there was other words, and I really can't think of a word like rub and rube, but
bath, bathe.
No. You had the E at the end.
Bathe.
Well, I get okay, yeah. All right, yeah.
Bath, bathe.
Bath, bathe, yeah.
Bathe.
Tube. But the way you looked at me like, Dad, can you help me? I felt bad. And even your mom was like, what? I'm doing it good. I'm like, no, you're not. Hold on, you guys.
That's funny.
I said, you're really not doing it any good. And then one time, like she would talk to me and she would say, if you know me, I have a lot of bad stuff happen to me. Right? Like literally this morning. Want to tell him?
You go ahead, dude. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was like, okay, I put my drink down. I said, okay, I do my sound check. We're good. And as I come back, I knock this drink all over me. Right? And Connor goes, you literally said, we're good. And then you poured water on yourself.
Yeah. All I hear, I think we're good for the show. And then I don't know how you spilled it. And you're like, oh, it spilled.
I went over and I came back this way.
It drenched all over the carpet. We just didn't even try. We had a full cup of water. We didn't even try to like stop it. We just let it run.
Not just that. The show's about to start.
Yeah, in like 5 minutes.
I'm sitting here in a puddle of water, sitting like I'm soaked, and I'm like, I don't have time to go change, right? But anyway,
I just looked at it fall on the ground. I'm like, I'll go get the towel.
Bad things happen to us or to me, and your mom one time tells me, you got such butt luck." And I was like, what? Butt luck. Yeah, it's bad luck. Butt luck is constipation. And yeah, so we do that. And anyway, you got to read the room. But sometimes, like reading the room, you want to give a person a chance. You can see they're struggling. You got to let them find themselves. Does that make sense? Language-wise, culture-wise. Like, for example, when we went to Twin Peaks for the Mexico game, when FIFA was playing, right? The culture there was a lot different.
Oh, yeah.
Than other place I've taken you, right? And had I gone into that room and said, Viva USA, I don't think I would have left there alive. Right?
Oh, no, it would have been worse if you said like Colombia or something.
Well but they weren't playing the USA, but what I'm getting at is
if you said the other team.
Yeah.
Other than Mexico,
read the room.
Everybody's wearing green and you show up in red.
Yeah, something like that, right? Playing Spain or whatever it was. And yeah, you got to read the room. That's probably the most important skill I can tell you. And that's probably the most interesting thing that we have going on for us is, the culture where we are. So I'll tell you what, let's get to those actionable steps you can take to help you do better in your work. Here's our segment called Heat Map.
Observe, interpret, and thrive. The heat map will show you where to focus your efforts for the most impact. Observe how people communicate, formal or casual, email or Slack, Pay attention to meeting dynamics. Who speaks, who leads, who listens. Ask a trusted colleague about unspoken norms. This is a great way to get insider knowledge. The map is drawn. You've got the roadmap. Now, let's avoid the landmines.
All right, so observe how people communicate, whether it's formal or casual, email or through an app. WhatsApp is everyone's popular thing, right?
No.
Well, when you think
For
of an app,
you, for Mexico, yeah. But
Right.
mostly it would be Instagram.
Instagram for you. Well, I was going to ask you, what app do you use?
Oh.
But you started talking, so I was like, I'll just
Sorry.
get there. And you got there. Instagram. I have people that use Messenger. Like, yeah, my cell phone.
Yeah.
Text me there, all of that, right? Secondly, pay attention to meeting dynamics. Who speaks, who leads, and who listens. I was at a meeting on Thursday night, and I was very involved in the discussion because this guy was talking to me, and we were having a group discussion, and the boss was running the meeting. And I said something, and he just goes to someone else across the other side of the room, "You had your hand up?" And I was like, "Shut up." Right? Was he telling me to shut up? No. But he wanted to acknowledge the person who raised their hand. We were having a real discussion, but then someone raised their hand, and he acknowledged her immediately. He wasn't telling me to shut up. He was just saying, she raised her hand, she has a question, let her ask it, I was like, "Hey, I'm talking here." Literally. Joseph and I would look at each other, we're like, "Oh, okay. It's not our turn to speak." But when you're in a meeting, you got to know who's running the meeting. You got to know what's being said and what your role is in that. And it was funny because one of the things that I have 25 years there, I'm one of the senior teachers, and we have all these new people, and they're asking questions and stuff. And I'm like, well, we have this option, this option, this option. And I like this option because this is this. And they tell me, well, you got to use this platform. That's what I was talking about earlier. And I said, okay, I will. Just because y'all convinced me, I'm going to use it. And I got a free iPad out of it.
That's true, yeah. He comes home after the meeting with just a brand new laptop. I'm like, oh, not laptop, iPad. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll learn this platform.
Did you win a raffle? No, I just learned a new system.
And the program that runs the platform was giving us the iPads because they want us to use their platform. So for them, it's an investment in their platform because people buy the platform.
But for you, you have to switch everything into that program.
I just log in online.
Well, but you have to learn in, like, go training.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have to do a lot of work for my class.
Yeah.
I'll probably start that in the spring. Anyway, and the last one is ask a trusted colleague about the unspoken norms, and this is a great way to get insider knowledge. What does that mean? Hey, on Friday mornings, I have my first meeting yesterday, right? Where should I sit? Because everyone already has their seats at the table, right? And I want you, I know you're in college and you have like 300 people in your class. It doesn't really work. But when you had those 300 people in your classes, did you have the one seat you sat in almost every time?
Yeah.
Right? Why didn't you change seats? I would tell my college students.
It's like school. Same thing, like assigned seating, or you sit there, that's your new seat for the year or the semester or for the...
But is that unspoken? That's your seat for the rest of the year? Or can you change seats? Did someone say you
could
can't?
change, but since we've grown into that from like elementary all the way to college,
right.
We just stick with whatever seat. We pick the seat that we want. If you like it, you stay. If not, you go find another seat and stay there.
One thing I tell my college students, I have between 30 to 40 students per class. I tell them, I'm going to ask you to do something for me. If there's not an assigned seating chart by the teacher, go sit in a different seat in the classroom and just watch the chaos you start. Because the person who's supposed to sit in your seat either comes up to you and goes, "Yo, you're in my seat," or they're like, "Okay, let me sit over here." Now that person comes up and they're like, "Hey, you're in my seat." And before you know it, it creates this whole chain reaction where everyone's in a different seat. And the teacher walks in looks up and is like, what's going on here? That's one of my favorite pranks to play on teachers. I'll tell you, we're at the top of the hour here on MBR Talk Roku, here on TikTok. You can catch us on Roku, on all the other social platforms at Pure Hot Takes. And we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we will be back after these messages.
It's time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murphman will return after these messages.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
She's from Alabama. I caught her red-handed drinking whiskey on Saturday night. I can't imagine I'm overreacting. She's losing her mind. I met her mama and told her about her problems, how it's happened now a couple of times. And girl, I'm sorry, I'll be gone by the morning, cause you ain't the marrying type. Well, she's got a way with words and I know it hurts. So boy, just protect your pride. And girl, that's the way it works. And we ain't the first ones tricked by the morning light. So we came up, make love, then we take some. Stay up, wake up all the neighbors. Yeah, I swore I was done with her. Well, she's got a way with words. Yeah, she's got a way with words. And I swore I was done with her. Well, she's got a way with words. I wasn't honest, if I'm being honest. I fed her a couple of lies. And now she's calling me, going on and on about another guy. So I take the bottle off the counter and I pour one. She's the only reason that I always gotta pour up. And ain't it funny that I bought the bottle for us? I'm the only one who's drinking now, baby. Well, she got away with words and I know it hurts. So boy, just protect your pride. And girl, that's the way it works. And we ain't the first ones tricked by the morning light. So we came up, make love, then we take some. Stay up, wake up all the neighbors. Yeah, I swore I was done with her. Well, she's got a way with words. Yeah, she's got a way with words. And I swore I was done with her. Well, she's got a way with words. Yeah, I swore I was done with her. Well, she's got a way with words.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.
Before we get back to the show, listen up, El Paso. Many things are coming to El Paso, and you want to stay in the loop. We are setting up trivia, bingo, and karaoke coming to locations near you. Follow us on all the social media platform at purehottakes.com to
Get ready for the Badlands Trivia Night! A blazing bingo battle under virtual light. Scan the code and join the crew. The house is loud and the energy is breaking through. With the Murphman and H-Train hosting the night. They are the kings of trivia, yeah, you know that's right. It's an all-out party, so come on and play. Don't let the chance to win slip away.
God damn, what a rush. I love those songs. Welcome back to the show, you guys. What you just saw was a quick bumper for our show on Wednesday nights. H-Train, who's here with TikTok and everyone right now in Military Broadcasting Radio and myself, we do a live trivia and bingo every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So come here to MBR Talk Roku, or check us out live on Roku, or check us out at Pure Hot Takes on YouTube and Twitch. and check out our show. And you want to play some trivia, it is free to play, but you got to come in and buy donuts to join the game to be eligible for some of the prizes. But it's free to play. So if you're interested in that, come by and check us out. Right, Connor?
Yep.
You like trivia?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Depends on what it's about. It's about history. No.
If it's about Canada, it's what's it about?
Huh?
If it's Canadian trivia, it's what's it about?
A boot.
That's how they say it.
A boot.
Anyway, yeah, of course. The thing is, when you have general trivia and it just asks you all these questions, it just you can have a back to school theme, but it has a lot of stuff about schools. Just it could be a sports question about a school, so it's really hard to say a category.
Yeah.
If I say it's a Star Wars trivia,
then Star Wars.
But I could talk about the director, I could talk about the production company, I could talk about a vehicle, I could talk about a character, I could talk about a specific movie. There's a lot of different things there. But yeah, so join us every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern for trivia with Badlands Trivia and Blazing Bingo, partnered with Military Broadcast Radio. All right, let's keep the show going here. And let's talk about those pitfalls you're going to fall into. So let's help you prevent getting burned. I'm sorry. Let's identify the pitfalls you're going to fall into when you're having trouble with this.
Authenticity is not a pitfall. Facts. Let's talk about where you'll get burned. These are some common pitfalls. Assuming all workplaces are the same. Every culture is unique. You must adapt to your specific environment. Overcorrecting and losing authenticity. Adapt, don't erase. You can fit in without losing yourself. Ignoring red flags. Culture fit matters. Trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. Danger zone identified. You know the pitfalls. Now let's gear up to stay safe.
So authenticity is not a pitfall. Being real, excuse me, authenticity is not a pitfall. Being real is being yourself, being genuine. That's very important, you guys, being authentic. Assess all workplace because they are not the same. Every culture is unique and you must adapt to your specific environment. Now, if you work with a certain culture, one of the biggest issues that people have is the break room and food that's cooking. Right?
Yeah.
If I like to eat fish and I go cook fish in the microwave, that smells. That stinks. Right? But if that's my culture to eat, we eat a lot of fish. Can you say anything? No. So
you be an outcast and be like, I don't want fish.
Well, right. Okay. But those kind of things also, the way people talk, the way people dress, the way people act, it's all that you got to be aware of. There are some things that in the Hispanic culture, when you visit someone, you're supposed to offer them a drink and they have to take it. Did you know that?
No.
So you go somewhere and you're like, I'm not thirsty. Like when I was doing counseling, I was visiting 7 Hispanic families in a day. Every house I'd go to, they'd offer me something to drink. Sometimes it'd be a little drink, and sometimes it'd be this big glass like this, right?
Isn't it just like courtesy, I guess?
No, yeah, but it's a culture thing.
Oh, I thought that was just
everybody. The culture is also to accept it. Even if you just take a little sip and put it back down and never touch it again, you've accepted it. Just like when we went to Mexico and they told us to try papaya. We had to.
They did not say that. We literally.
Well, they didn't say you had to try the papaya.
They served it to us.
They served it to us, and
we're just dumb, and we're like, oh, watermelon.
Oh well, no. We said cantaloupe first off.
I said watermelon.
Oh, you said okay. I thought it was cantaloupe. I didn't know.
Cantaloupe's like bright orange. That was like a.
It was orange red. Yes. The point being is they offered it to us.
We ate it.
We tried it.
Question it.
I had to eat it. Connor gave me his stuff. I'll never eat papaya again. And we tried twice, and it's not going to happen.
Golden Corral. I see it there, and I get terrified every time.
We have PTSD.
Yeah.
Papaya stress traumatic disorder. That just came to me right now. Papaya stress traumatic disorder. Oh my God. Anyway, overreacting and losing authenticity, you have to adapt. Don't erase. You got to be who you are, you guys. Don't forget that. You got to be who you are. You can fit in without losing yourself. And ignore red flags such as culture fit matters. Trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. You know, you may not be aware of a culture. You may not understand what's going on. So it's very important to ask. You know, I'm trying to think where they came from. I don't know if it was Nigeria or Guyana. But I had a friend of mine who had some people moving next to her, and they had this fish that was fermenting outside. And it wasn't trash. That was them fermenting it. And it was too strong for their house. They put it outside. And in apartments, you have 2 doors right next to each other, right? So she'd walk out and have to smell it all the time. And she told them, you know, this is not appropriate. They're like, where we're supposed to put it. She goes,
you don't.
Somewhere else.
There's an apartment. Put it in the back or put it in the quad. Put it somewhere not in front of another person's door.
But that's where they live. That's where they cook. That's where they eat. You got to understand cultures. So she told me this. And I said, look, talk to them and say, look, I understand your culture, so on and so forth, or whatever. Give her some tips. And they came up to an agreement, you know. She says, I'm not here at these times. If you can put it out there during that time, that'd be best, right? You know, so they worked it out. But yeah, it's one of those things, food, culture, the culture of food, culture of talking, culture of dressing. You know, what I think is so funny is those people that are very Hispanic. I always talk about Hispanic because I'm Hispanic. There's people that are very Hispanic and they celebrate the holidays big time. And there's some that only celebrate it once in a while. Like, for example, you're Mexican, right?
Yeah.
More Mexican than me. I'll keep saying that for the rest of my life. We were in Mexico City. We went to the Zócalo where they had the grito for the cry of the revolution for freedom. We were there, you know. What?
No, sorry. I thought I heard something.
And that's a big part of Mexican culture to go there, you know, to be there on New Year's Eve. That's a party. That is a huge. You think Times Square is a party? No,
barely. Everybody's is so packed there, nobody can move.
The Zócalo is the same way.
Oh, God.
Okay, but it's a lot larger area. It's crazy. Crazy.
It's even more packed.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeesh.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, but when someone says, you know, have you ever gone to Mexico? Connor can say, oh, I traveled Mexico. I spent a week here, a week there. We've done this, we've done that. You know, you probably don't remember where you went, but for a Mexican to say, yeah, I visited Mexico and I didn't just go to Juarez, you know, I actually went to Mexico. I went to Acapulco. We went to, you know, we walked up to the pyramids. We've been there and everything. Amazing stuff, right?
Hated the pyramids.
Because you were dehydrated.
No, I was hungry. I haven't eaten all day. They take me on a hike up a pyramid.
Okay.
Going side to side, mind you, not up. We
were
going
because
side.
There was a long line.
To side. We had to wait also.
Yeah. It was horrible. I'm not gonna lie.
It was horrible. We had to do that 2 times. Or we were going to do it 2 times. But then I was like, no. I'm hungry.
There was more.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I don't even know what time that was at. It felt like high noon with the sun directly right above us.
It was horrible. It was. I'm not gonna lie. And Mexico's humid and everything, you know.
No, definitely.
So yeah, you know, being Mexican, I can say I've taken him to the capital. I've taken him to see the majority of the places I would want him to see or I want to see in Mexico. I can say that, you know. Do I still want to have other places I want to go? Yes. But does he want to go? No. But if I said, let's go to Cancun for spring break, I'd be that old creeper there.
Where?
Cancun.
Oh.
I'd be that old creeper there. No, I can't do that. As much as I'd love to party, that's not going to happen. All right. So we talked about those pitfalls you have. Let's talk about the shields that we have that help you protect you from getting burned. Here's our segment, Heat Shields.
It's time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murphman will return after the
Your corporate culture heat shield is the authenticity anchor. The heat source is the pressure to conform and lose your identity, cultural fit. Deploy this shield by following these 3 strategies. Define your core values. Identify the 3 principles you bring that make you a cultural add to any team. Adapt, don't erase. Use situational awareness to adjust your communication style without sacrificing your unique perspective. Trust your gut. If you feel you must suppress your identity completely to fit in, that is a sign the environment needs a review. The armor is on. Now it's time to process the heat.
A quick shout out to Into the Weeds. If you guys haven't seen that podcast on Military Broadcast Radio, you gotta check it out. She gave us a quick like, so I want to give a shout out to her. Enjoy, thanks for joining as well. Hope everything's going well. Now, the heat shield. Let's talk about that real quick, okay? Your corporate culture is important because you have the authenticity anchor. The heat source is the heat shield is to conform and lose your identity is what you want to avoid, right? You don't want to just fit in, you want to add to the culture. Define your core values, identify your 3 principles you bring that you make a cultural add to any team. Like, what can you bring to the team? Adapt, don't erase. Use situational awareness to adjust to your communication style without sacrificing your unique perspective, and trust your gut. If you feel you must suppress your identity to completely fit in, that's a sign that the environment needs a review. The environment needs a review if you feel that you have to fit in, you can't be yourself. Because if you can't be authentic, where are you working? Right?
Yeah.
There's a few things you never talk about at work. Religion and politics and money. Okay? You should talk about your paychecks. That's going to cause a problem, I'll tell you right now. There's not a lot you can't. Be cautious if you ever do. But religion and politics are 2 things that can create a lot of issues. A lot of issues. Certain religions have certain beliefs, certain times of year, they celebrate certain things. If you don't know, ask. There's nothing wrong because you don't know, right? You don't know the culture. You can ask. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. At the same time, though, if they respond to you in a negative way, that's not cool either. Because you're trying to be genuine. You're asking, hey, tell me more about this holiday of yours, right? Do me a favor. Look up, when did Kwanzaa start?
Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa. I want to see if this is right before I say it.
Kwanzaa, December 26, 1966.
Okay. That is, like I just said, we're not talking about religions. But here's an example of what I'm referring to. Kwanzaa is the African-American celebration during Christmas time. Have you ever heard of that?
I've heard of Kwanzaa, yeah.
Okay. And I had a kid come into my office for counseling one day, and she's dressed up in African regalia. She's dressed up in exactly what any stereotype you would think of, right? When you think of African regalia. And she's like, I'm celebrating Kwanzaa. I said, good for you. Good for you. I said, tell me more about it. And she's like, oh, it's this old traditional religion coming back from Africa from many, many years ago. And I was like, oh, interesting, And her father was like, no. And the girl's like, what? And he says, it started during the Civil Rights Revolution as a way for Black Americans to celebrate their heritage. And because of all the racism and everything with Martin Luther King coming out with civil rights and all that, you know what I mean? They came up with Kwanzaa. It's not this traditional thing from years and years and years ago. That's what I think is people don't know that. I didn't know that, right? But the father knew, obviously. He celebrates and he understood why. But it makes you think, like, why do we start celebrating Christmas? Why do we celebrate Valentine's Day? Why do we celebrate Easter? It's all candy related.
Yeah.
right?
Birthdays, also, yeah.
Whoa. That's okay. One of the strangest traditions I've ever seen is the Mexican piñatas.
Why?
Okay, you got to go beat this piñata up to get candy out. No big deal. I went one time to Central Texas. I was at a party. They got a piñata, and it wasn't tearing. It wasn't breaking. I went in and I reached my hand into it to tear it apart, and it was a woven basket. I cut my hands up on that basket. They're beating this basket. Nothing's coming out. It's the worst piñata I've ever seen. In the old days, they used to be made with clay pots. So you would crack it and, you know. But what I think is the horrible thing about a piñata is we have themed parties, right? Okay, you can pick a children's theme.
Yeah.
Pick one.
Oh, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Okay. Let's do a Spider-Man themed party. Let's buy a Spider-Man piñata. Now, here's a stick. Go beat up your favorite character. Right? You know, no one... I've never seen a kid go, "Oh, that we can't do that." No, let me go and beat the crap out of that character, right?
Yeah, he's
You know.
helpless.
Oh yeah,
Boom.
Yeah, right. But you have to spin around a couple times, and you know, there. If you look on TikTok and look up piñata fails, there's some.
Oh yeah, dude.
Horrible stuff.
I saw one where she was trying to hit it, and they kept moving it.
Yeah.
So she kept missing, and her grandma or something just recording right in front of her. They put it up, swing. It hit the phone and the face of the grandma, and she just fell. And I'm like, ooh, that's gotta hurt. I didn't see her move after that. I think she
the
knocked down when she was like, ow. just sitting still.
You see the phone on the ground.
Oh.
You know, one of the other traditions, part of the piñata process, is the person hitting the piñata doesn't get a lot of candy.
I know, that's BS, and it's the birthday person.
Well, not always, but you know, anyone could break it. But the thing is, that kid's swinging the stick, right? Dale, dale, whatever we sing, right? And then all of a sudden it cracks. There's candy all over the place. And the kid's blindfolded, can't see where they're going. Everyone else is running down. They're still swinging because they think they're trying to hit the piñata. They don't know it's over. Kids are getting hit with sticks. It's just an amazing thing. It's fun. If you're not aware of that Hispanic tradition, and you take your kid to this party, and the piñata breaks and there's candy, your kid runs out and gets the candy, and you as a parent are like, no, stop, right? That's the only way they're gonna get candy, right? I saw another piñata one time where they pull a string and it slowly unravels on the piñata and it spins it, and when it gets to the very bottom, the whole thing opens and it just shoots candy in all directions. Yeah, that's cool, but people want to hit stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to see something. I want to do something.
Yeah, you know, it's the most violent event at a party, right?
Kinda.
Where else can you get hit with a stick at a party?
Well, not stick, but like violent.
What else is violent?
Jumping balloon, dude.
Oh, the brinca brincas, that's what we call it in Spanish.
Every time there's a jumping balloon, there's always people fighting in there.
Go ahead, share.
Always.
Tell people what a brinca brinca is at a party.
What? Why? It sounds like you have a story.
No. When everyone thinks of a jumping balloon, they think of kids going up and down and up and down and up and down.
You know, we think of like a boxing ring. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what's one of your goals as a kid?
Beat up the other person.
You know, but everyone runs to one side and tries to knock it over.
Oh, well, yeah. We used to do that, yeah.
And you always want to get the kids that aren't really rough, throw them into the net so they get stuck on the side and hanging off the edge. It's violent. It's fun, but it's violent.
Especially if it's a family gathering. Yeah, dude.
Right? And then you always have the drunk, you know, why do you have to have beer at a kid's party? Because that's what we do.
Celebrating.
You know, people get drunk at kids' parties. Like, what? People are not aware of the culture of the Hispanics the way we celebrate is just very interesting to me. Because you take someone, they're like, what is this? What's happening? What are they singing?
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of stuff there. I just think that's pretty funny.
Yeah, it is.
It is, right? I miss going to piñatas.
Really?
Yeah. One time we were in Ruidoso, and we had a bat.
Oh God.
We had clay pots back then.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't these little sticks. And someone hits the pot and breaks off the top of the bat, and it flies and hits my dad in the face.
Oh.
And we were all just like, "Are you okay? Here, Theo, grab the stick. Let's keep going." We get another bat. It was like, that's just what we did. It's crazy. Anyway, let me take a quick break. We'll be right back after these messages.
It's time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murphman will return after these messages.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.us.
Before we wrap up, here's a reminder. Hot Takes with the Murphman streams live every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern with Military Broadcast Radio. At mbradio.us, we give veterans a voice and help them launch their own podcasts. Check out all our socials at purehottakes.com to connect with the community and stay locked into the show.
Hello. Oh, I didn't even see that.
Welcome to Badlands Trivia and Blazing Bingo, presented by Borderland Entertainment, broadcasting live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Tune in this Wednesday to play along.
Oops. Hello.
I'm telling you, there's one more video.
Hey.
What's up?
I'm sorry. Because last night I was with friends and and every time I saw them, she would always be like, "Hey."
Oh, as he walking around?
I would walk back and forth and I just see them, "Hey," every time. I'm like, oh, okay.
You know, there was this song that they used to play back in the early 90s
Hey.
or late 90s, whenever it was. And there's a phrase where a girl would be like one of those, you know, they play clips of people talking.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm with the DJ. You know, and then boom.
Everybody's
boom,
with the DJ, yeah.
No. But that was a clip of the song.
Oh.
So one day I'm at Club 101 downtown and I bump into my brother. And he goes, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "Oh, I'm here with the DJ." And he started laughing. And then all of a sudden the DJ goes, "Well, Sean Murphy, please come to the DJ booth." I work with the guy. And he saw me. So he's like, "Hey, come over and say hi." You know, but it was like literally.
It was perfect.
"What are you doing here?" "Oh, I'm with the DJ." "Haha, that's funny, dude." "Well, Sean Murphy, please come to the DJ booth." He's like,
That's funny.
All right, so back to the show. Let's talk about the afterburn. Let's reflect on some of the things we've learned today, Connor. Okay.
Okay.
What culture helps you thrive? Reflect on your value. In today's Afterburn, here are some questions for you to reflect on. What kind of culture helps me thrive? How do I observe and adapt without losing myself? What's one question I can ask to better understand my workplace? Reflection complete. The reflection is deep. Now let's take this to the digital front.
All right, so what kind of culture helps me thrive? That's very important to know. What kind of culture do you need to fit into? One thing I hate is micromanagers. You know what those are?
Yeah. People that try picking at everything and just, you need to do this, do that, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
And they're not a manager.
Right. I had a friend of mine trying to help me out when I first started my job. And I'm like, dude, please.
Like, back off, please.
It's annoying me. It's not helping me. It's annoying me. You know, I hate micromanagers. When someone says, do this, and here's your deadline, here's what, you know, you have to do these things, I excel. I do great. I'm like, okay, you know. Last year, I wanted to start the podcast at the beginning of August, and I spent the entire summer prepping for the show. Right. And every now and then, you know, I try to do the episodes, the slides, and everything ahead of time. And every now and then I'm like, oh God, I haven't done anything yet. So there I am Thursday night or Friday night working on last minute. I hate that. But you know, micromanagers is a culture I don't fit into. So when someone says, what's your greatest weakness? I'll say a person who micromanages. Because I understand I need to be told to do things, but tell me to do them. If I'm wrong, correct me. If I'm right, you don't need to tell me I'm doing a good job. Just let me do my job. Just leave me alone. That's part of the hardest thing for a manager to do, is to let go of an employee like that, and giving them free reign. You know, but my boss, I love her to death. My new boss, love her to death, because like one time I had to cover for a teacher. I mean, I was covering for a teacher because she was on vacation for a week. She got a cruise or something. So I said, let's go to, I'm covering her class. I'm grading papers, and I have a queue. Do you know what a queue is? Like a list of papers I got to sign.
Yeah.
I'm grade. So I'm grading them and I'm going through. And finally, I have about half the day through, I see a different teacher's name in my queue. And I go to my coworker. I'm like, oh, dude, like, why am I in her? Like, what, you know, I'm grading her papers. It must have been a mistake when they added this other teacher to me or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I get out at 3, at 2:30-ish. my boss texted me, "Hey, did you notice this teacher's in your classes?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Okay, just want to make sure you were aware of it. You're going to be taking over the class for the rest of the semester."
Oh.
No, you're going to be taking the class until we find a replacement, which I knew was the
going
rest
to be
of
the
the
whole
semester.
semester. Yeah.
And I said, "Okay, thank you." That is what is so much appreciated, because she basically gave me a second job. And she's like, "You got this, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, good."
I hope you got it.
That's
You're the only option we have.
Well, right. But that's the faith she has in me as an employee and the relationship I have with her as a boss, because I can literally just say, "Hey, I need help, or I can't do this," or whatever the case may be, right? Having that micromanager is just one of those things. How do I observe and adapt without losing myself? Same thing. You have to know who you are and where you fit in. And one question you can ask to better understand your workplace, ask yourself that. What is a question I can ask right now to understand what's going on? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one time I was really frustrated at work, and I told someone to do something. I wasn't their boss or anything. And this girl looked at me, and she says, she's not a girl, she was a lady. She looked at me and she says, "You're not mad at me. Don't take it out on me." And I said, I'm sorry. Most people have been like, "I'm not taking it out on you. I'm not mad." No, I was mad, and I was taking it out on her, and I just felt bad, and that's it,
Yeah.
When I know I'm wrong, I'm like, "Okay, I messed up. Thank you." And we move on. That was it. We never talked about it again. It was fixed. Penn and Teller, remember them? They don't really talk much. They're not the best of friends. Usually when they argue about the show. They never apologize to each other. But Teller knows he's better with Penn than without, and Penn knows he's better with Teller than without. And they know the most important thing in their life is that show. And they can put everything else to the side because it's for the show. They don't have to be friends, really. But they're together everywhere they go, right?
Yeah.
Like Beyonce and Jay-Z. Although I don't think they're together right now.
No. Actually, no.
Jay-Z's still in jail, right?
Oh, yeah. Jay-Z is in jail.
Is it JD or P. Diddy? No, that's two different people. No.
Yeah, they're two different people.
Yeah. So it's not Beyonce and Jay-Z. Who's with P. Diddy?
P. Diddy?
Okay, who's the one that got caught with the whole scandal?
The oil, baby oil?
Yeah.
P. Diddy.
P. Diddy. Okay. Who's dating P. Diddy? I said Beyonce and Jay-Z. They're still together.
Yeah. I don't know why. He has a history, but he's dating no one right now.
Well, maybe
his last one.
Someone's bitch in jail.
Dana Tran.
Okay. So it wasn't Jay-Z. I don't know. I thought Jay-Z and Beyonce, and I thought Jay-Z went to jail, but no, he didn't. My bad. I apologize for that.
No, Jay-Z did go to jail.
For what?
Abusiveness? Something? Hold on. Why did he go to jail?
I don't know. This isn't the Jay-Z show.
Oh, he hasn't? What?
Yeah, it was P. Diddy. That's what I'm saying. Everyone thinks it was Jay-Z, but no. All right. So that was the afterburn.
Oh, well, he was in a civil suit for sexual assault with P. Diddy.
That's okay. I knew they were related somehow, but
yeah.
Okay.
I thought he got in jail for that. Wow. Okay. Never mind.
Yeah. So
yeesh. He should have been.
Well, yeah. So anyway, those are the reflections for today. But let's talk about the digital inferno, because technology can help you with this. So here's something called the digital inferno.
Slack etiquette is situational. Slack is the new water cooler. Digital communication requires heightened keychains. Use AI writing assistants before sending messages to ensure your formality matches the team's established workplace norms. Verify the channel. Always double-check your recipients and the channel before hitting send to avoid public etiquette mistakes. Align with the norm. Observe if your team prefers direct messaging for urgent items or channel-based communication. Then follow that lead. The machine is optimized. Now for the final word.
All right, so the final take. I'm sorry. Did you move it again?
No, Sean. You've been doing that. I had to move it back. I just forgot to.
Perform a tone check on your writing. Using AI assistants like Grammarly and things like that will help you write better. Okay. When you need to write something harsh, check it with your AI. Make sure it's a good tone. You can actually go to Word. Word has that too. You can check it for professional writing, and it corrects it for you.
Oh, well, yeah, Word. Yeah.
Verify the channel. Always double check your recipients and the channel before sending, because there's nothing worse than sending a reply all to people that you don't want to reply all to. And align with the norms. Observe if your team prefers strict messaging or urgent items. Now, let's talk about that real quick. In our team, we have a teacher thread where they put out information for the teachers. But then the teacher has a question, and then people start answering, and the bosses come in and go, "This is only for putting information out. If you have a question, please message your directors."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right? Because all of a sudden the message is now lost in the thread. You don't know where it went. Here's one thing. As a teacher, we discourage the use of AI. I use AI a lot, but you don't want it to replace your work. You want to enhance your work. As a teacher, you use Grammarly, and you could say you write really poorly, right? And you use Grammarly, you're making all these corrections and everything, and it comes out 99% AI because you did all the corrections using Grammarly.
Yeah.
We're asking you to use Grammarly. At what point is it too much? So we were talking about this at a meeting on Thursday I was telling you about, and we were talking about a student who missed the first week of class, came in the second week, took a test, and in 5 minutes she got 100. So she obviously used AI, although I don't know how she actually used it.
Or she just knows her stuff.
Hold on. So the teacher reached out to her and says, I need you to come to the office and talk to me. And she comes in and she tells the kid, what's going on? Explain to me how you were able to do this. Let me ask you 3 questions. And she says, an easy, medium, and a hard question. Kid didn't know any of them. And she says, so how were you able to answer 100% correct on my test? And she says, I used AI. And she's like, I figured, so you got to rewrite the paper and do this. I said, I have had students use AI. And one of the things I look for is an M dash, which is that double dash I showed you. Remember? It's a little longer than regular dash. If it's bolded, that's another AI thing. I don't have to read it to see if it's AI or not. The other thing is I add keywords in white. Right? I told you that. I highlight it and I say, okay,
yeah,
talk about Freud. Right? But I have had more than one student. When you reply to AI, it says, okay, here's what you're asking for. I've gone ahead and I've organized everything about Freud. Then it gives us a list of Freud. And then it says, is there anything else you would like me to add? Right? You hit copy and you hit paste. It copies the entire feedback from the AI, including the statement of, here's what you asked me to write for you. And here's what,
If you actually do that,
if you're going to cheat, do it right, man.
Yeah, come on.
I think
at least click and drag it. Don't double click and try to copy everything on the page.
With the new platform I'm using, if a kid tries to highlight a question to copy and paste it into AI, it actually tells you you're not allowed to copy and paste this.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
You can respond. There's a lot of things to do to avoid cheating. But the latest thing they're doing now, let me see I want to get your opinion on this. Okay. I have not, again.
Everything's, he's never asked me anything.
Off the cuff. Okay. I don't prepare him for these because I want honest reactions.
And all you're going to get is,
all right. What?
And and the answer you're going to get is just,
oh, yeah. Okay. You're taking a test. 50 questions on the computer.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
You have to have your webcam on.
Uh-huh.
And your phone has to have a second webcam from the site. So you can see if anyone's sitting.
Wow. What about it?
That's the new standard.
For what test?
For testing.
Like STAR testing?
No. We don't do STAR testing. We do STAR testing in person. I'm talking about like...
Oh, like online?
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
You're not getting on my phone, so just so I could put a webcam to make sure no one's there. That's BS. That's why at UTEP they use something where you have to like literally turn your laptop around to show the surrounding from the webcam. Be like, there's no one around me or anything.
But in a given moment or at the beginning or start?
Beginning.
Okay. Then someone can sit down next to you.
Obviously, yeah. But
someone can sit, like, have you seen those commercials, those TikToks where they have an AI phone right here?
An AI phone?
Well, okay, their phone with AI open.
Oh.
Okay, better language. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
And the phone's there. And they'll ask a question and then AI answers it. You're like, oh, so how would I do this? Well, first I would do this. Second, I would do this. Show me your hands. I'm not using the phone. You know, have you seen those videos?
Yeah. It's all fake, but yeah, it's a...
I know that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, that's not, I have the phone, they're not going to see it, right?
Oh, yeah.
There are ways to cheat. I could show the whole room and then someone comes sit down afterwards. I can have the camera here and have you sitting right behind the camera.
Yeah. There's no point in putting...
But now the AI is getting smart and it can say, you're looking to the side. You're looking away. So you're not paying attention to the test. Yeah.
I don't know. What if I look at my phone because it's notification because it's my phone?
Well, you're right.
If I get in trouble for that, then don't let me have my phone out, honestly.
Well, you're not supposed to.
If they're going to make me use it for a webcam, my notification's going to pop up anyways.
Right.
They can't tell me to shut it off or anything. It's standard.
Well, here's the thing. What I do, and my boss is like, why do you do this? And I said, look,
that's BS.
My job as a teacher is to teach you. A test ensures I'm teaching you correctly. Okay? With the way I do my papers and everything, you're literally writing a 10,000 page paper by the end of the semester, a book in some ways. Okay?
Damn.
When you're taking a test, it's just, I have to give tests. But I give you from Wednesday to Sunday to do the test, right? You can start it, stop it anytime you want until you hit submit. If you're in school, Connor, and you have 5 friends taking the class with you, what are you going to do? Be honest.
Obviously, if they haven't done it yet, or if it's at the same time, because you said for a couple days.
Yeah.
Me personally, I would forget about it till the day of, and then I'd be like, okay. But
all right, that's not the question.
I would.
If you have 5 friends that have the same class as you,
we're gonna do it together. Yeah,
you're gonna do it together. So what I do is I randomize the questions, meaning all 50 get randomized for everybody.
Okay.
And I randomize the answers. So the question could be, what is cultural fit? Oh, that's number 44 on mine. What's it on yours? 2. What's it on yours? 5. Whatever. Okay, the answer is C. It's A here, it's B there, it's D here.
Yeah.
They don't catch on to that.
Some people don't. Yeah.
Okay. The biggest, when I catch someone so blatantly cheating that they're stupid about it, I get angry. If you can beat the system, I don't agree with it, but I'll give you props. One guy, we had to answer questions out of the book, right? And it was a CD. So you would answer the questions in print and you would turn in the papers, right? This guy told his friend, hey, can I borrow your papers so I can do the answers? Yeah, he gives him the papers. The guy comes back the next day and hands in a copy of his friend's questions. He didn't do the work. And it's literally a copy of a highlighted paper. So I was able to get the kid who highlighted it, because there wasn't a lot of kids who highlighted, and his paper, and look at it and be like, this is the same exact copy, right? So I said, I need these 2 students to stick around after class. Sat them down and I said, all right, let's talk about this. I said, it's not a question. I know you lent your paper to him or he stole it from you, one or the other. That's not a question. I said, but you get a 0.
The one that copied it?
Yeah. And you get a 0 for giving it to him. Any question? Yeah. He goes, I have a question. I go, what? He goes, how did you know we did this? I said, because you highlighted your paper. He goes, well, done. I'm like, he copied it. He turned to him and says, you whatever, right? And I said, just don't do it again. Next time I'm sending you guys to the dean and kick you out of school.
Damn.
Right? Again, I'm not hard. I'm a hard ass, but
it surprises me how people could be just so blatantly stupid about some stuff.
You can't fix stupid, man. People are stupid. They're stupid. Like when the stupid, you know how they say there's no such thing as a stupid question? There are stupid questions. I'm going to tell you the stupidest question I've ever heard. Can I use the book on a take-home test? That's a real question, Connor. I'm like, no. And he failed the test. That's an honest to God true story. Another class, I told
Wait, so you couldn't use the book for at home?
No, you could.
Oh.
That's the whole point of a
He said no,
test.
that's why.
It's a take-home test. I told him no. Being a smart ass.
Oh, well,
that's who I am. Anyway. He fails the test. So a couple classes later, I'm there and I'm saying, okay, listen, they say there's no such thing as a stupid question. There are stupid questions. And the example I give is this, right? But don't be afraid to ask. I'm not gonna make fun of you asking, unless this is obviously a stupid question. I'm sorry. If it's an obviously stupid question, you deserve to be called out for it.
Yeah.
So we're going through the syllabus and this one girl raised her hand. She goes, I have a question. Can we use the book on a take-home test? Like the whole class was like, what? Like it was just funny. It was funny. I was like, seriously? Do you remember the whole conversation I just had with you about 5 minutes ago? Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, technology can help you, can hurt you too. Let's take one quick final, let's see.
It is 11:52.
Oh, no, we're not. We're going to take the final break. We'll just go to the final.
Know your worth, show your work. The final take from today's discussion is reading the room isn't about blending in. It's about tuning in. Observe, adapt, and bring your best self to the table. The final flame has been struck. The lesson is locked in. Time to wrap this show up.
All right, so real simply, observe, adapt, and bring your best self to the table. The final flame has been struck. That's the end of the show. Done, right?
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else to say about that. See where you fit in. See where you fit in and figure it out. That's the hardest thing. You got to figure out a way to do it, right? Read the Room. That's been the title of the class. Reading the Room, a cultural competence. Okay. Understanding that you need to know what's going on around you. You need to know what's going on, how things work. Everyone has a different way of doing things. And like I myself, I'm different. I just do things differently.
Yeah. I'll agree with that.
When I sit there and just, I don't know, in a new place, I look around and I I'm a little quiet just to judge everything, right?
Yeah.
And just to see what I can or cannot do. And if I like it, I'm like, okay, cool. If I don't like it, I'm like, what can I change or what can I do to like this better?
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things is we got to eat, right? Okay. Do you think the food you eat is culture related?
Well, yeah.
Right?
Every food's culture.
Yeah, every food's culture. Exactly. When you go to certain restaurants and you try new food, like we went to a new restaurant last weekend. Was it last weekend or 2 weeks ago? Maybe 2 weeks.
2
sorry.
weeks.
What
was it called?
We went to a place that sells pho.
2 weeks ago.
And I ordered the spring roll. I ordered all the egg rolls and spring rolls. I wanted to try them. And one of them had egg in it. And I'm just like, oh, what? Well, it's a different kind of. It's not Chinese food. It was a different kind of cuisine.
Vietnamese, yeah.
So yeah, so
they do it differently. It's big, also.
It wasn't bad,
but it wasn't what you.
But it wasn't worth going back for me. And that's what I think is so funny, right? That you're sitting there and you're like, okay, how does this, like, I don't like this food. And I felt bad sending it back, but I'm like, I didn't like it. It was bland. It was like, I didn't like it.
Yeesh.
So when you go out to eat, be aware of all that and understand that things happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And cultures, all of that is so important because eating out is culture. Doing things a certain way. Like before COVID, at Texas Roadhouse and Logan's Steakhouse, they would give you a bucket of peanuts. Not even in a bag. It was just a bucket of peanuts. You'd get bucket peanuts at the front.
Oh. And
then you would just throw the shells on the floor. And people would just throw stuff on the floor. Okay. At night, they'd go clean it up. So the managers could see if the floor was clean or not.
Yeah.
Makes sense, right? So it's interesting because as you do that, every culture, every restaurant, there's some restaurants that say you can't wear a tie in here, and they'll cut your tie off without your permission. Okay. They have a sign up front that says, we're going to cut your tie off if you're walking in with a tie. And they hang your tie up on the wall.
Wow.
Okay. There's some places the exact opposite. You must wear a tie to come in here. Or
they just have ties on the wall.
Yeah, they do. And here, like I have my jerseys, right? With my numbers on it. Yeah. They can claim these are gang colors and I can't wear it.
Yeah.
That's happened to me.
Yeah, happened to me also.
So
for wearing black.
Yeah, dressing up. Yeah, right. There's all those things that you got to be aware of. So just remember when you're going out, going to work with your friends are a different culture group than you.
Yeah, but I'm getting more.
You're learning it.
Yeah.
Right? But it's taking time. You didn't just walk in there and know everything.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, yeah, it's one of those things that think about it and be aware of it. And when you come back next week, we will talk about more college stuff and see how your first week of school goes. Can't wait to hear that. Until then, you guys, I am the Murphman, co-host Connor. Yes. We will see you next week. Have a good day.
Bye.
Thank you for watching today's episode. Check us out on all social medias at Pure Hot Takes or go to purehottakes.com for more information.
That's a wrap on this episode. If you're looking for more, you can find all the best clips from the show on our social media pages. For all the links and more information about what we talked about today, visit purehottakes.com. And if you want to watch the full replay or get access to our premium content, subscribe now at stream915.com. We appreciate you tuning in.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. giving our veterans a voice.